Happy New
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
It's January the 1st. We've all got hangovers. It's time for a vinyl tag. And a very special one. It is a vinyl tag done by the VC for the VC. As you can see, we've got some familiar faces from Thursday night. First, though, I'd like to say, Simon, thank you for coming up with this idea. It's his idea when we have a chat afterwards. So thank you, Simon. And the other person that's going to get the big shout is Mr. Producer there in the bottom, the man that keeps us in charge on a Thursday night. That's Dave. So thank you very much, Dave, for doing this as well.
Welcome.
Okay. We've got 20 questions for you. So we're ready to go.
Okay, so Ian, you have question number 1. So off you go.
Okay, first one is very easy for you. I want you to find an album cover that's got an animal on it. And somewhere here is my example. So I've gone for Mike Oldfield's Fergus Ridge. And as you can see, we have got an Irish wolfhound on the front and also a poster of the Irish wolfhound. So there's the first question. Find an album cover with an animal on it. It's over to Simon.
Right, thank you, Ian. Right, my first question is, show me an album that you regret buying the most. A couple of years ago, I went and pre-ordered this What's Going On, Marvin Gaye. It's a classic album. It was told in the description that it was taken from the master tape, so it's supposed to be an analog recording. It ended up being a digital recording, so I paid all that kind of money, thinking it was something which it wasn't. And yeah, I was a bit upset about it. But anyway, show me your one. Over to Richard.
Hi, my first question is, show an album that is part studio and part live. And if you don't have any of those such albums, just a great live album. Now, this is The Kinks, The Road from 1988. And this is mostly live, although the title track itself, the opening song, is a studio recording, and it was a single, and it is the best track off this album. So an album which is part studio, part live. And over to Michael.
Thanks, Richard. Okay, we've all done it. You're in a record store. You don't know what to buy. You have extra cash. Need to go. You see a jacket cover. It strikes your eye. You buy it. It's a blind purchase. Show me a blind purchase from 2024, whether you love it or you hate it. I love this one. Sweet Linda Devine, produced by Al Cooper. She's a massive soul singer from the San Francisco Bay Area. I just love it. That's my blind purchase. Show me yours. Over to Mike.
Hi, everybody. My first question concerns record labels. And I think most of us have record labels that we buy artists time and time again. Record labels that are a guarantee of quality. And I want you to show me your favourite record label. And mine is Stiff Records. And I'll show you this. It's Elvis Costello, My Aim Is True. And it's his debut album. And it's on the Stiff label. So my question is, show me a record on your favourite record label. So now it's over to you, Nick.
Hello, yes, I'm situated here. My first question is, show a record or a CD, etc., that has an interesting fact or a simple piece of trivia connected to it, or even a personal story. Here's an example. The Clash's first album. This picture was taken at Camden Market. And if you want to know the exact location, it is dead opposite the Mod Father clothing and apparel shop. Okay, back to Ian.
Okay, my second question regarding live music. I love me live music. Now, I've got CDs and I've got DVDs. Now, some DVDs were never put out as a live album. or you saw something on YouTube and you think, I wish this would have made and into a live album. So my example is from Yes. This is the 90125 live. Now there is the live solo albums, which is pretty naff, but this has got some really good versions of them songs off that album. So there's my second question. Show a DVD that you think that should have made a great live album. So it's back to Simon.
Right, my second question is show me your favorite compilation album. Now, this can be anything from a greatest hits to now that's what I call music compilation. Might not be my favorite one I'm going to show, but this was certainly the very first compilation, very first actual album I actually ever brought. I was probably about 8 years old. Around about 93, this came out. It's 100% dance too. Great tunes on here. Show me your one. Over to you, Richard.
Okay, my second question is show a 7-inch or 12-inch single where you think the B-side is actually better than the A-side. Now, if you don't hold any singles, just show a track from an album that you think should have been a single. But this here is a Nick Lowe single from 1977, and it is Halfway to Paradise, the old Gough and Keane song, which is a good song, but it's not representative of 1977. The B-side, however, is a Nick Lowe original called I Don't Want the Night to End, which is 1 minute and 50 seconds of just pure energetic brilliance. So Nick Lowe, I Don't Want the Night to End is better than Halfway to Paradise. And over to Michael.
Okay, my second question is this. Show me a steal from 2024. Show me a record that I hope is a great record that you paid a pittance for, that you would have had to pay so much more money for if you had bought it at a record store. So mine is this, VSOP, a great double set record that I paid 100 yen for, the equivalent of 65 cents. It's got the obi. It's got a little bit of staining on the center, but those are some jazz greats. It's a great record recorded at University of California at Berkeley. So show me yours. Show me something you got for a steal. Over to Mike.
Right, my second question concerns album covers. What I want you to do is show me an album cover that's a work of art. Now, it can either be an album where the artist has borrowed an existing work of art for the cover, or it could be just an album where you think the cover is so fantastic that you'd like to put it into a frame and hang it on your wall. So what I've gone for is this one, and it's by Terry Allen and the Panhandle Mystery Band, and it's called Just Like Moby Dick. And it's got two works of art on it, one on the front and one on the back. And it's by an artist called Thomas Chambers from the 19th century. He was born in Whitby in Yorkshire, but he spent most of his life in America. And the picture on the front is called Storm-Tossed Frigate. And another nautical scene on the back, which is a painting called The Capture of the Frigate Macedonian. So show me your album cover that you think is a work of art. So now it's over to Nick.
Hello, yeah, thank you very much. Second question. Now, I'm not one for shirking things. I say it how it is. So name a popular band or artist that you just don't get, you don't care much for, or you absolutely bloody hate them. Here's my example. There we go. Captain Beefheart and his Magic Band, and this album in particular, it's a load of old mumbo jumbo cobblers. Back to Ian.
Okay, thank you, Nick. My next question is all about them albums that remind you of your first love. Now, it can be a person, it can be your dog, it can be your car, anything. You leave it up to you. So I'm going to show you my example. And my example is Sky 2. Now, this reminds me of my very first girlfriend, would have been about 16. And her dad had this, and we used to listen to this in the front lounge. Back in the day, old houses had a common lounge and the posh lounge, and the hi-fi was in the posh lounge. So we used to sit and listen to this. So I'd love to hear what your album reminds you of your first love, regardless of what it is. So it's over to Simon again.
Right. My third question is, what album have you played the most of 2024? Now, this could be any album. It doesn't have to be an album which was released that year. Personally, I played this Neil Young Harvest Moon a hell of a lot of times. It's a great album. Yeah, out of all albums, this is the one I played the most. So over to you, Richard.
Okay, and my final question is to show an album where you only like one song. And for this, it's a band that I really do enjoy, and it's Fleetwood Mac. And this is Behind the Mask, a #1 album from, I think it was 1990. And the only song I like off this is a Stevie Nicks song called Affairs of the Heart. Now, this was the album after Lindsey Buckingham had left, and so it was Billy Burnett and Richie Zito or Vito or whatever you call him replaced Lindsey. But as I say, a #1 album, but it's a very, very poor album, apart from the track Affairs of the Heart. And over to Michael.
My third question is, show me an international vinyl community channel that you discovered in 2024. And what I mean by that is, show me a channel that doesn't operate or doesn't broadcast in your country. Show me one that broadcasts in another country. And the one I'd like to show you is Long Gone Rock Loser. And this guy is an Australian. He comes to Japan. He comes to Japan once or twice a year, specifically to go to concerts and shows. But he's a record collector, and he's all about exploring different record areas in Tokyo and Osaka. And he videotapes himself, and he joins other people. He's got one with a woman, Penny, that is a musician, and they go shopping at Disc Union, and he gives her a budget, and she pulls records for him. So if you want to get a sense of what it's like to be a tourist with a camera in Japan, I recommend Long Gone Loser Rock Show. Thanks. Over to Mike.
Right, my final question is, show me an album or a single by an artist that you discovered in 2024 by watching another VC channel, and then give a shout out to the channel that you discovered it on. So I'm going for this album. It's by an Australian band called Civic. They're a garage punk band, and this album came out in 2024. It's called New Vietnam and Singles, and it's their collected early works on one LP. And I discovered Civic by watching my mate Ben Rankins down in Melbourne. So thank you for that, Ben. And now it's over to Nick.
Hello, yeah. My final question is this. Show a record, CD, etc., that a previous owner has lovingly written their name on, whether it be the sleeve or the label, scribbled on it, doodled on it. Failing that, show record, CD that's been autographed by the band or artist. Here's a couple of examples. This is Susan Cadigan, Take Me Back. That's been properly autographed by the good lady herself. Okay. Prince Buster. Now, how I wish this had been autographed by the great man himself, but alas, no. On the back, it's been lovingly autographed by Maggie of 26 Wilmot Drive, Erdington, Birmingham. And just over there, we have Miss Rachel Webster of 17 Willie Grove, Erdington, Birmingham. Bless you. Thank you very much. Back to you, Ian.
Okay, thank you very much, Nick. My last question, it's to do with the YouTube, but it's a non-VC channel. Now, I love military history, and I discovered a channel which is right up my street, and it is called War Stories. It goes from all military history, from the Second World War to the Korean War. It's very, very interesting. If you like your history, you're going to like this one as well. So, it all I need to say is thank you very much for everyone for joining in, and I hope that you.
Iain, we're getting a bit of interference.
Tuning into Ian's. But you can get rid of me, didn't ya? We ain't gonna away that easily. Yes, I got a question for you, you helmets. Now the killer question is... Shut up, dogs! Right, the question is... I'm thinking... What is the first record that you didn't give back? So like you borrowed and you didn't return it. I'll show the example, look. I borrowed this Herb Albert beauty, naturally for the cover, and of course, once I used it, I couldn't ever give it back, could I? Anyway, what's your one? I'll dare ya, I'll double dare ya. Anyway, I'm off. Laters.
That was
That was a bit
interesting,
unexpected.
wasn't it? But I think we need to thank Helmet for and sending the question. I want to know how Helmet knew we were doing this. But as I was saying, hope you all take part. It's a little bit of fun. I don't think anything's been tried like this, a multi-vinyl tag. So get your thinking caps on, and we'll see how this tag goes. It only leaves me now to say, wish everybody a happy new year for 2025. And just to say thank you to my fellow VC members that have come up on a Thursday night. And I know Richard can't because he's working, but Richard and I do lots together as well. So thank you very much. And it only leaves us to say,
Happy New Year!
Happy New Year.
and
Do the
bye.
vinyl tag or else.
Or else.